Sustainability is more than just recycling. Sustainability is also about our thought processes and also our decision making, how we make decisions around products and services that we acquire for our home. When we reframe our thinking about sustainability, our actions soon follow. So our thinking is the first part that we have to rein in when we think about sustainability. So most people think about sustainability in the aspect of recycling only, but it's so much more. And so this video is going to highlight some ways that we can rethink about sustainability, reframe our minds to think about sustainability as a whole system, a circular system that impacts not just our home, but homes across the country and homes across the world. So that's the first aspect of sustainability that we really have to address, and that is our thinking about it. And once we address our thinking about sustainability, we're able to then take the actions that we need to take in order to be more sustainable and build a more sustainable home. The second aspect, and probably one of the most powerful aspects of sustainability, is refusing. If you do not need an item, if you do not need it, just do not buy it. I know that it's really hard to refuse things that we may really want, but it actually is one of the top areas that you can practice sustainability in your home. If it actually does become a need, find ways to maybe repurchase it from reusable materials or something that's repurposed. So that brings me to my next point. Reusing and repurposing is also a very strong sustainability practice. It keeps us from buying new items that pull from raw materials from the earth resources. So when we repurpose and reuse items, that means that we're using less materials in order to acquire a new item. But it's just not about materials. It's about the water, the energy that goes into producing a new item. At times, I know I've been practicing sustainability for a long time. And so I really have gotten to the practice of trying to repair items as much as I can. Although the shiny new item is what I really want, I know that it's the more sustainable practice just to go ahead and figure out if I can repair it. But there's one thing to remember about repairing an item. And that thing that you want to remember is sometimes the item that you're trying to repair is just unrepairable. So take the proper steps to properly dispose of that item and then research a new item that's more sustainable. Which brings me to the next point of sustainability, which is recycling. This is the aspect of sustainability that everybody talks about, and it's recycling. And it is important to recycle right, and it is important to recycle items that is at its end use life. But I want to highlight more aspects that you can focus on way past recycling. I think that's an aspect of sustainability that gets talked about a lot, but there's many more aspects of sustainability that is just as important as recycling. Which leads me to my next point, which is indoor air quality. Indoor air quality is a very important aspect of sustainability. It is connected with health. And so when we have a really nice indoor air quality within our home, it helps us to live a healthier life. And with indoor air quality, there also comes a connection with energy conservation. One of the ways that you can practice sustainability is practicing energy conservation. If you have a smart thermostat like I have, you do have some features that you can measure your indoor air quality while also conserving energy at the same time. So indoor air quality and energy conservation works hand in hand. And if you're in the market for a new thermostat after your old one is unrepairable, look into a reusable thermostat that can help you to not only conserve energy, but improve your indoor air quality. And another aspect of sustainability that a lot of people do not think about is water conservation. There are so many ways you can conserve water. One way is don't buy things you don't need. There is a lot of water used in things that you don't need. When items are produced and manufactured, water is just as intensive as energy is intensive when producing new products. So one way to practice water conservation at home: turn off the water when you're not using it. Also, try to reuse water. If my daughter doesn't finish a glass of water, I then put that glass of water in a watering can to water my plants. So there are so many different aspects of water conservation that you can use. The second aspect of sustainability that a lot of people do not think about is sourcing of materials. This is something really hard to do for your sustainability home practice. The reason being is a lot of consumers do not know how to research the chain, the manufacturing chain, to figure out how their materials were sourced. So that means you will have to look for a product that the supply chain is already sourced, and there's information on where the raw material came from, all the way how it came into your home. There's many different certifications and many different products that have cradle to cradle certification. That means that it's responsible from the time that the raw materials was taken all the way to it gets to your home. So although sourcing of materials is one of the harder things to do for your home, it's definitely possible. I have to be completely honest, it's something that I still struggle with, only because there's not a lot of data around sourcing of materials for your home. But one way you can get around that is maybe to shop more locally. That way you're able to ask the local vendor how they acquired the materials that got into the product that you are bringing home. Which leads to the last aspect of sustainability that I think a lot of people miss all the time, and that's equity. And you're wondering, okay, well, how do I practice equity in my home when usually it's practiced within the workplace for either corporate sustainability or other aspects of sustainability for large corporations? Well, when you are bringing a product in your home, make sure that it is as equitable as it can be. That means that the product was made in a humane way. And that's one of the ways that we can increase equity within our home. If you are paying $1 for a t-shirt, more than likely it was not made equitably. If you're paying just pennies for one item, you know that more than likely it was not sourced equitably or fairly, and that someone else has gotten the short end of the stick. And so equity is a large part of sustainability now, not just in the corporate area of sustainability, but also in the items that we acquire in our home. And so there's a lot of large textile and clothing companies that have been highlighted due to their lack of equity. And so we have the power to change that within our homes when we shop for more sustainable products. More than likely, they're more equitable. But not all sustainable products are created with equity in mind. So keep that in mind. as you go to build more and more sustainable practices in your home, you want to remember to, one, reframe how you think about sustainability. It's more than just recycling. Figure out ways for you to reuse or repurpose items that you already have in your home. If you do not need a new product, just refuse it. I know it's hard to refuse products that you really, really want, but it actually is one of the most sustainable practices that you can do for your home. And also, that brings us to recycling. If you are to recycle in your home, make sure you follow all of the recycling guidelines within your municipality. Each municipality have their own recycling guidelines, so check with your city or municipality to figure out how to recycle correctly, if that is the only sustainable practice that you're going to practice this year. And also, to go a little past recycling, reuse, repurpose, refuse, try to focus on your indoor air quality. So while you're cooking, turn on your vent hood if you have one. If you don't have a vent hood for your home as you're cooking on the stovetop, open a window just to improve the air quality as you're cooking. Try to reduce your use of aerosols and candles. I love candles, but I try to reduce my use of candles considerably. And as you look into indoor air quality, also pay attention to your energy conservation in your home. If you have the means, and if you're in the market for a new thermostat, look into getting an energy efficient thermostat that also monitors your indoor air quality. And with energy and indoor air quality, there comes water conservation. Find ways to conserve water as much as you can in your home. That can be a very sustainable practice, and it can also save you money, along with saving you money in energy conservation if you put those two together. And then try to source materials as responsible as you can. It can be a challenge here in the United States to really find out how a lot of the materials that come into our homes are acquired. But if that is an area that you are really interested in, there are many different resources that you can find that will help you to figure out where your material and product came from. Or better yet, go ahead and just buy a product that maybe have a B label to it, or a cradle to cradle product. And lastly, when we're practicing sustainability in our home, we want to remember equity. Make sure that we do all things equitable, not just for those humans that are in our home, but also for humanity across the world, animals across the world. And so we want to make sure that we buy products that not only uplift ourselves, but also uplift others. So we really want to make sure that we're buying products to increase equity within all supply chains. So those are some of the areas that you can think about sustainability well past recycling, and hopefully some of the tips help you a little bit as you start to green your home a little more. Thank you for watching, and happy greening.